Hello. Oh, okay. Here we go. Hello, everybody. What is up today? How you doing all? Jane is in the place. Moe Piluri. Hello. Randall here for my French accent. Great. Ronik is here as well. Good to see you guys. Alem. Salam alaikum. So, what do we have to talk about today? I have the music here. Here we go. Thank you, Elliott. Oh yeah, starting just here with a high time frame chart, high time frame weekly one. What can we say about that? The chart's still looking pretty bullish, right? We did claim resistance the week prior. Resistance, trendline resistance, I mean. RSI is gaining acceptance in the bull territory as long as it doesn't drop back down below 45. But for me, we are in bull territory. That said, we are also at the 200 moving average is resistance, so that's kind of the crucial resistance to claim, right? To be really in a bull trend, and we need a sustained claim, because as I am looking at the count currently, I think we can indeed claim it and come back down later, but the second time we will claim this, if we do, it's gonna be a bull run started. So yeah, struggling here, struggling in the sense that it's still slowing down. We had quite the strongest weekly candle that we had for quite a long time. Beginning of January, a smaller one with still quite similar volume but slightly diminishing. Last week we have again volume slightly diminishing and the spread as well. So we are consolidating so far. I hardly see how this could be. I don't see any top here until we have at least some kind of weak, at the top rejection. It seems that we need another pump. When will it come? Well, we'll cover the Elliott Wave scenarios, right? But so far so good. It's following pretty much my plan. Lower time frame is getting a bit more tricky, to say the least. Volatility getting aggressive, from my point of view at least, for this week. But yeah, I think we still have a pump coming soon enough. So count on the mid time frame here. Or this chart, right? Yeah, this chart can be better. Right, so the idea is still the same since the past few weeks, that we had an impulse. Top of wave 1 is debatable, but that doesn't really matter at this point. 1, 2, I believe we finished the wave 3 here, somewhere on one of these top here, one of these 3 top here. And but overall, that consolidation, I consider it to be higher degree wave 4 here, and so looking for this 5th wave to come. The same way that this consolidation is to be considered as lower degree wave 4 here. So on the in-between time frame, I shared I think that was this week with the crew. That I shared a few mid-time frame accounts ID here. I'm gonna zoom in the lower time frame later, but yeah, to be honest, especially this part is unbearable to count for me. I have a few ideas, but we'll see. Okay, my favorite count right now is this one. So in 2 parts here. Is the idea is at the top of the third, we talked about is on this middle top here with 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle fifth as the wave 5 of the third. I'm reading a nice flat here, expanded flat, as B go beyond the origin of wave A and C go beyond the end of wave A. Expanded flat. We have a nice 5-wave finished here. So it's surely I like 90% confidence that this is a flat, because we are getting 5 waves down, pretty clean 5 waves down that reach every target for the wave 3, the 4, the 5th, and we do make a higher high after. So 5 waves down, it is either the beginning of a new trend, or if we make higher highs here, it means that was the end of a flat, or the end of a wave C in general. So that's why I'm reading a flat. Now I have been considering an extension of this flat here, as I'm showing it on this as my favorite count, for 2 reasons. Well, firstly, because we have this consolidation of lower degree here that lasts quite a bit of time, and if we consider this as the top of wave 3 here, this consolidation, that flat that we printed between the 25 of January and the 30, is quite about the same time than this. And in theory, as it is a higher degree wave 4, I would prefer to have something that is longer in terms of time. It doesn't mean that it's an obligation that it lasts longer. And in fact, if we consider that all of this is a consolidation, this consolidation already lasts longer than this one. So overall, even if it's not a whole part of wave 3, we can consider all of this kind of the wave 4 consolidation, even if the wave 4 already starts only at this top, you know. So if the wave 4 bottom is here, and we started already the wave 5, there is several ways this could unfold. It could be a 1, 2 in the process of the third, and this is a sub 1, 2 of the third. When we were here the other day, say maybe if we make a higher high here, that's gonna print 5 waves, so likely that would mean that we are likely starting the wave 5th, but we didn't. So that was in fact why I was looking for short quite aggressively yesterday here, because I have a clear invalidation for this being a corrective move up, 3 move up. If we were to make a higher high, then things were turning a lot more bullish. And so yeah, so now it looked right now, you know, it looked obviously as a 3 wave, and this rally is so much of a sucker rally, like I like to call them, because, you know, it's, well, firstly triggers the stops, but mostly because you have a very quick move back up that doesn't let any reasonable trader get in, right? You cannot get into that pump unless you just market bout or really find a 1 minute corrective low, but you get to be extremely aggressive. And so that kind of pump like this, I would not say coming out of nowhere, but almost, feel kind of corrective here. I know you can always, I can always be wrong. Maybe this is 1, 2, 3, and this little consolidation of 4 and a 5th can always fit something. But the way I'm doing it, I want to see this harmony, and here I'm seeing an impulse, a corrective, and an impulse. So I see 3 move up. We now overlap the top of this one, so it cannot be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example. That's not valid because we overlap with 1. As long as we don't go below this, in theory, it can still be 1, 2, and sub 1, 2 of the third. That's not what I'm feeling right now, but that's a possibility. I will consider it if we take the highs. But as it is, that's why my favorite flat scenario here still feeling okay. I would say okay, because this is really complicated to count. Now, to complete this pattern, we need to finish this as preferably 5 waves. It can be a more complex correction, which we cannot ignore, seeing how this is overlapping. It will not be an ABC, then it will be a WXY. But WXY is a kind of corrective move similar to ABCs, but instead of having 5 waves to finish a wave C, we have some kind of corrective. That can be an ABC zigzag, can be a WXY, WXYZ, can be many things, more complex. All of that to say, we don't necessarily have, preferably we will finish 5 waves, but we can have something more complex here. As I am seeing things right now, ideally, whatever it is, I would like to see us taking the low of Wednesday here. Why? Because this is the target that I have for the minimum correction of a wave 4 here. I'm on log, the 146 retrace level of the proposed wave 3 here. It is at 22,550 here on in the SPEP. That comes below this low, and so that's really tempting here for me. I have this confluence here, that level that will need to reach, that it's most likely below a ton of stop losses and potentially even liquidation for the 4 more above, and at the same time still a higher low. And you may remember, been telling it a few times, I'm favoring still higher lows, not a sweep of this, for example, for the simple case that if we are looking at what happened previously on the structures that I feel we are in a similar manner here. We have a similar bottom here, just different time frame, a bit smaller time frame actually, so a bit less spread as well. But I feel this is very similar to this run that we have, and you can see that each wave 4 correction here we made higher lows. Okay, we made running flats. So yeah, if you zoom in a bit more, you will see that there's intermediary lows that are getting hit. I cannot on this chart. But yeah, that's pretty much what we did here. We took an intermediary low without even really making a lower low overall. So that's why I'm really liking that 25,500. And if this is given, and if I can have a bit more confluence on a completed count from this week high here, and I can complete something here, you can bet that I'm gonna go, probably gonna take a big bet on that. With an invalidation that is less than 1%, I could probably, I'm gonna check the liquidation, but I could probably bet a 100x 100x long here with no stop loss. Not my whole stack, obviously, risk management remain, but I can bet like 3% of my stuff with a 100x on an exchange, just making sure that my liquidation level is above that high. And to target, well, 25 and beyond. That's gonna be my plan right now. Honestly, I have a decent confidence about it. Now I can be wrong, of course. This idea will remain valid even if we take the lows. We don't have to make exactly the same thing that we did before, so we can take the lows, make an expanded flat, reach a bit lower here, and still be in a valid wave 4 overall. So I will readjust, reassess my ideas. Yeah. If I'm flipping on linear, in theory that could make a higher low, but as we are in a big expansion here and the fib retracement level I've been playing better on log in this time frame. Yeah, that's where I am betting. So not that loyal. Not financial advice, obviously. Can we get some mental music going? No, we can't. I could set up my mental playlist, but I'm pretty confident that a lot of people will not like it. And this is a way better music for mindful thinking, concentration, peaceful walking. And so everybody can understand me, or almost, because if I start to put the music, that's gonna go above me. Anyway, any question here? Hello everybody. Let's say when 10k. I'm not sure we've ever seen 10k at this point. Maybe if we lose, I mean, you know, I slowly my bullish feeling is slowly growing as things are developing, and I'm seeing the right context here for us to start a new trend. And you know, there's still a count that say this can be an expanded flat anywhere between 25k, 30k. It could even be an extreme wave C and a fifth wave that go really like 30, 32, 35, and I can still see that as a possibility. But as I'm seeing things right now, I'm feeling more and more bullish. The things can change, right? But yeah, at least as long as we stay above 19,200, we don't find acceptance back below this, yeah, 18,500. If we start to lose previous consolidation here at about 20,500, I'm gonna start to think back a bit more about potential bearish cases, especially if we didn't make the higher low first. Because if we make the fifth wave here, after I can see a nice retrace here before continuation, no problem. A nice retrace. I doubt it's gonna be that obvious, but yeah, it can be also very shallow. We can stay here. We'll see that when it happens, if it happens. But right now, if we don't go for that last impulse and we start to lose this last consolidation around 20,500, 21,000, that's gonna get me concerned and maybe consider that we have either a shortwave 5 or even an APC up. I don't know. I could see an SFP of that, but that would already be a sign of weakness, as we would be losing this kind of acceleration, parabolic advance, and the similarities that we have with the 2019 bull run that I showed you before. So for now, and especially as long as we keep making higher lows here, I see the similarities. So if we do like 2019, we can finish this impulse, get a bit of blow off top, maybe, and start to correct for a longer time and board and have some kind of capitulation before going up. Ideally, we'll have just a nice zigzag to the 1-1 extension, to the golden pocket, to the POC of the range. I doubt it's going to be that obvious, but we'll see. We'll see when it's due. And yeah, I mean, this has the characteristic of the capitulation you want to see in the bear market, right? Sentiment have been at its lowest that I probably ever seen. At least comparable to 2018 low. And yet it was being absorbed. So that's why you might remember I said, yeah, if we start to lose 18k, things are going to get bad. When we start to collapse here on the FTX news, I made an update, post on Twitter video. I say, yes, that's not good at all. We might go to 9K and below. But as I was seeing things getting absorbed and not having so much follow through and not so much of a big dump. I mean, it's a 20% dump from on the FTX events, but you are just slightly below the June low, and that was the biggest worrying event that happened in this whole bear market, and yet the effect have been so little and have been so much absorbed with a lot of volume, even more on spot. Here it's not a complete chart for volume. We went below every high time frame, oversold indicator, etc., etc. So that's really good. Now at the end of the stream, I might try to get a look at the on-chain data that are a bit less optimistic, and might suggest that yes, this is a sucker rally. That this 2023 rally is a bootstrap. Always have to consider every possibility, but I feel pretty good about it. I didn't finish all my scenarios here, so yeah, ideally we finish this, right? If we start to go above this week high, even yesterday high, it's pretty close, so I will keep the invalidation above here. But yeah, if we start to go above these highs, I will foresee a continuation of the trend overall. I could foresee an acceleration here, and would say that wave 4 is finished. Alternative count that I shared, wave 1 here. So this is not. So this kind of similar as well. The difference here is that I'm considering this the top of wave 3 instead. And all of this as a kind of a flat. So ABC, ABC. So ABC as an A, ABC as a W, ABC as an X, ABC as a Y. So that makes you a WXY for the B, and still considering these 5 waves down as the finish of a flat. Just allow us to have a longer consolidation than the previous one for the wave 4. You see we just front run a bit the target here on log. On linear it's tagged it. So yeah, you know, between this one and the other, that doesn't make much change. The big difference is, well, this is gonna get invalidated if we take the low here, because that will mean this is not a 1, 2, 3 in process. But that doesn't make much difference because this is also valid at that point. Other one, double triangle, what was that? So this this is not valid anymore because we took the high. I was considering this as the top of the third here with a triangle for wave 4 here. But the thing is, considering this as wave A, the 5 waves down. But if you have 5 waves down as an A, you cannot take the high. You cannot have a flat. The formation, wave formation, where wave B go beyond the origin of wave A is a flat, and a flat should start with a kind of corrective move, not an impulsive for wave A. So that's the difference between a zigzag and a flat. So that's not valid anymore. WXYZ, just adding some uncertainty here. So here, yeah, that would be the X. Just that we can continue the range overall and make a longer cross consolidation. Anyway, all of that come to this as favorite option. So I would really like us to take the low, not monetary. If I recap for the 10 times here, we have 2 levels that's gonna be invalidation or validation. These two ones here. Key and key. If we go below, if we go above that high, we most likely have the wave 4 in, and we started the 5th. If we go below that low, we did not, most likely did not finish wave 4 here and are finishing it here or later. Hope all of that is clear. Yes, 22,500 will be great with all the sell side liquidity resting there and still staying within the 15-minute stop loss. 15-minute market structure. I think that's what you saying, right, Nick? But good if I have confluence with another OG. Hello, hello, hello. Good. Hello, everybody. So that said, what do we have yet to talk about? Talked about this time frame. 4 hour here. I'm trying to find the best level and structure to look for. So this is an old weekly order block in green. I still let it on my chart because you can see how that is. It has been relevant on the 4 hour chart here. We almost never get acceptance above just for that nice bull trap. But I'm really fine with having a close above if it is a bull trap like that was. And yet you see it's still getting rejected. It's still getting support here. And I have a 4 order block here that get my interest. It's a breaker 1, the one that went before the minor change market structure. Some 4 order block over there. It's not really because we have so much overlapping here. So yeah, I got that one that got my interest. That initial 4 order block, that was the first preliminary supply of the reaccumulation range that we are most likely in here. The first 4 hour red candle, the first slowdown of this wave that came from a previous degree wave 4. And that have been doing support on the 4 hour close here. And is coming in confluence in between where we are, where I'm looking for potential support. Just an extra confluence for my willing to buy this 22,500. At the same time, yeah, we were still above that weekly order block now. We find support here. Maybe we start to go. We'll see. Because the thing is, I'm trying to read all of that dump, but oh gosh, that is exhausting. So maybe let's start by explaining if it's really matter. I mean, in this, I see a 1-2 that we can read on the 1 minute. This has a third, a wave 4 triangle. Here we can have a nice triangle. And a wave 0 blow off top. And we reach overall the 161.8 level here for a nice ABC move. So I can fit 5 waves in that, but you have to dive into the 1 minute to be able to read the 1-2. It's really complex. There's only the 4 that is readable here. That doesn't really matter anymore. We know we have a significant swing top there. The thing is, how do you count all of this madness here? Because you can have an impulse consolidation, another impulse, another correction, another impulse, but here you have your middle impulse that is the smallest, so that cannot be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example. So maybe I can fit a 1, 2, and not really hard, but we fit a wave 3 here, and here this zigzag a 4, and this a 5th. Even here, counting 5 gonna be extremely complex. It's kind of look like a crappy ABC. Here the move up is fine enough for an ABC as well. We reach I think the 90% almost. It's not really proper either, but you have this impulse, correction impulse. Probably can fit a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well with an overshoot on the 5th. I don't know, nothing respect the target that I am looking for a nice formation. And you know, if you look at the the flow or just the open interest, you can see how this have been so much aggressive and reckless. People are going mad here. You see this open interest going really increasing, getting wrecked aggressively, and going crazy again here, and getting wrecked aggressively again here. Oh, yep. I mean, you can see this wild screen and wild increase with little spread. Even here, that was starting to get really aggressive, right? They went so much aggressive that somebody successfully squeezed the short. But really aggressive, it's just market buy. It's not like the standard, you put your market maker, big player, you have your limit orders to grab the liquidity, etc. It's going with market buys or market sales to move the market extremely aggressively. There might be some battle between several market makers, if you ask me. But yeah, all of this is making things extremely complicated to count. Even here, it's becoming a little clearer. We have at least a 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's 5 is way too much, and we still have another move here. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this has a 1 on A, this has a 2 on B. There's another impulse that also the inside count is not proper, but let's say we have an impulse down, another impulse down, another impulse down. So maybe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is some kind of flat. Here we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that works well. So I'm considering this as a correction. But yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nothing reach a correct target almost. Or some kind of A, B, C, maybe with a short wave C. The same way here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or some kind of A, B, C with a short C. It's a short C. Yeah, extremely complex. But I have been considering an expanded flat here at the general idea. Why? Well, because we have firstly, we finished the move down there as an expanded flat on the really low time frame count. That's how I've been able to catch a bit of long at limits here. I wanted to go higher size, but the move was so quick that I couldn't. But yeah, I shared that in the Discord. I was looking for that third SFP because there was a really clear and clean expanding diagonal to finish the 5th wave here, or the move down. Then we go out of this with, again, I was getting a bit unsure here, but ended up to be an expanding diag. So expanding diag for ending, then expanding diag for leading. I was pretty confident about that because I couldn't see any other move, but that's where when you have expansion here, that's what it is. You need to have your fifth bigger than your third, that bigger than your one. But you really have this sort of inverse triangle formation. And that's why I was looking for long all day here. But we have that. And we can have also this expanding formation. So initially I was looking maybe more something like this. We went deeper here. I don't know. Because if we consider this the bottom of wave 3 here, it's not expanding as much. I'm hardly seeing this as a flat. Maybe I'm really struggling here to find a sensible candle. If somebody have one or what I'm frame, I'm a taker. But let's say I'm not focusing too much on the lower time frame and I'm seeing the madness, the wildness increasing, not stopping, wide volume, wide liquidation, etc. Why not looking at things keep going? Where does this expanded flats and validate? Well, if we take yesterday high, until then it is not. Preferably we look for the trend line here, but you can expanded flat, you just need it. Expanding diagonal, you just need expanding. And in validation remain wave 2, so it can be higher. It can be a nice bull trap, while trap zone, by the way. You have a trend line, you break it, you consolidate, bring FOMO, you come back down, and then you have your somehow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, And that's a way I'm considering this as well, because that's the pattern that can allow me to, that can give me 5 waves down of some sort and bring me below this, that I would really like to see trigger here. So yeah, hard to do anything more than this on the lower time frame. Also why it's good to have other strategies and Elliott Wave, gladly supported with gladly supported, but that's not what I want. I mean, with all of things that I'm learning and keep learning at Toros and with everybody, and looking at what the other coaches, and a lot of them are here. Nick, Swooping Heck, Randall, Luxury, Luke. I use other strategy as well. I have a bit of Elliott Wave in mind, lower time frame, but also just trading the range. So, for example, I took a long here, compound on the retrace here. I was reading a leading diagonal based on the SFP. Was looking for the range here. I have in mind the fact that we have some kind of 3 move down, it appears. That was, wait, yeah, 8, that's what. And so we reach here 1-1 extension. And so here, for example, through process of the trade here, mainly SFP, then leading diagonal for the compound, and then take profit. I had take profit plan above the high for sweep of liquidity. We look for liquidity, always on market to change, but early take profit for me as we were reaching 1-1 extension on a 5 waves up here, so a good running flat here. Then again, longed here. Context, I didn't know what this could be finishing. I say, okay, I don't care. We SFP again. We SFP a bit more than SFP, but yeah, we take the low of the range a third time or fourth time here. Initially starting to long around here, but just looking at my last significant swing high, a finish of the running flat here, and reading 1, 2. That doesn't look like a finish of anything. So getting prepared to see another SFP. Then you have some kind of triangle wave 4 here and a 5th. And on the order flow, a lot of trap traders, early longs that went longs aggressively here, stopped out. Short is peeling in that range here, forcing the breakdown, getting absorbed on the 1 minute here. It's a 1 minute. As soon as I didn't really catch very low, but as soon as I saw that reaction and the 1 minute coming back above its open, I just I just click buy. And then take profit again above the high. Market structure change, potential for some kind of wave, five waves in the minute chart here. But I don't know where it's going exactly. I have a global plan in mind that we could be in some kind of expanding, that I don't know the sub count. So I'm keeping that in mind, that we could go again to the higher range, even without the expanding jag in mind. So the swing are so wild that we can expect it to continue to be wild like this, And now what we have here, sorry, I gotta make sure the way that this is mostly close. Yeah, good. So yeah, here leading diagonal, or I can read. So I guess this is a retrace, so that makes us probably an A, B, and a C, or 1, 2, 3, right? So what we are looking at next, A, that part will be confirmed as a complete correction only and when we take the high that we made here, okay? But it is starting to look likely right now. And then we should be looking for the 1-1 extension. Seeing how the fib has not been extremely well respected in all that range, we'll see. But in this ID, if we are doing another circle ABC move up, this is pretty much a target. So if I can even read some kind of 5 from that low, I'm going to try to count from here. From the low we made here at the start of the stream at 5 p.m. And I will probably compound short again with a stop above the invalidation for my expanding jag. In overall targets, well, lower. Well, the target that is pretty much where I want to long overall. As things are aggressive like this, well, or even often I do that. Let's say we topped out here. We start to move back. Can be pretty sure that I move my stop here. I take a partial profit to pay for my stop. That's what I do. And I will have a partial profit. I don't know where exactly yet. I guess I'll look for... We'll see. Ideally, I will wait for the POC if we claim that. Yeah, somewhere inside here. Take profit. Maybe here, if we have a confluence between a golden pocket and a POC, that's always a good take profit, right? Here. Based on that, we can even on the market structure trend as well. So I'm going to spread them and keep a bit. Last one going to be there. then I will have probably something like 25% left to hedge the long that I'm gonna try to take there. The same way when I took the short here, I think I took my first take profit really early. I was not confident at all that day. Then another on the market structure change here, and I closed a bit when I saw the reaction here, and I have still zero confidence about my counter. We did took the market structure, and the rest have been left open. The same way, long that I've taken there to profit here. I had take profit above this because I was seeing a bit of absorption. It was spread a bit more, so not everything was hit. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did, I think. And you know, it's not always defined. There is automatic take profit for me that are on a market structure change. That's it. For example, I took a short here. Again, I took a very aggressive take profit here. I was so not feeling well yesterday that I didn't want to look at the chart. But take a quick take profit so I could move my stop. And I had another take profit at limit on the market structure change. You think that's a good strategy because the rest got stopped out. It's kind of the automatic way I do. Maybe let me check a bit the comment if there is question, something. I need to move the chats correctly here. So we could be in an ABC with 0.618 coming in at 23,816, 23,816. Yeah. Yeah. No, for me, an ABC should reach 1 extension. Usually, I start to get my take profit and be attentive. That's a 90% for front run, but 90% is a front run for me. 0.1618 in theory, that's not a good target for a C, unless it is a running flat. A running flat, yes, that's where 0.1618 is a good target. At the same time, that happened. That's true. Especially here, if we look, I guess we tagged the 0.1618 on this move. Yeah, 0.1618 here. And probably similarly here. But usually for me, not even here. When we reach 0.1618 like this, it's the target of a fifth for me. Let me explain. 0.1618 is the target of the fifth. And you take 1 plus 3, and you get 0.1618. It should be a target of a fifth, not a C. But yeah, I wouldn't ignore this. This is still an area to be aware of, for sure. Okay. So I guess that's all. Just see there, don't forget to leave a like, but it seems that everybody did already. Appreciate that. So what happened here? Starting to see bearish TFT, interesting. Maybe we topped out already. It doesn't feel like it. And USD. It's overall, yeah, seems a bit absorbed here. Aggressive cells. Nothing come up to my mind. Or let's maybe see if there is a long opportunity. Okay, let's go. For now, I'm not reading this another way than 5 here. Can it be a flat still? Sort of. But I will guess we will take that high. Now the question, yeah, is this wave B or 2? Are we going now? Or are we going to keep ranging here and become for another low? Finish a better correction. We would have at the moment 1-1 extension here. There's not a lot of confluences. There is liquidity at the golden pocket. So could be looking compound longs should this come back down. So hard call. There's no more volume here. The volume came here. There's no more volume here. I'd rather not trade anything in here. But you know, it could do that and still go there and still reject. As long as it's making a higher low here, we still have a valid leading diagonal and still looking for another move up. There's nowhere I'm feeling confident to really plan a buy here. Maybe the context is right on the order flow and we do see this and seeing absorption or a bit of reaction here. Might want too long on the smaller 1-2 with invalidation a bit closer, because here quite wide for the objective. The risk is surely very bad here. So yeah, not much more on that. Could you explain why you were expecting a third SFP on the last significant low? On that one? On the significant low of today? Or do you mean on the one from Monday? I'm gonna wait the 30 seconds of delay to answer you my answer, and I will explain. Oh, is there some music that are way higher? So either the one of today or is there the one of Monday? I'm not sure. You can explain both anyway. For this one, I was not necessarily expecting it. I was not necessarily expecting this. I was kind of wanted to see something like this with a circle expanding diag, expanding flat here, going for this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and get an overshoot on the wave C here. It was kind of my hope when I started to long here, but with an intermediary target I started to profit here. But I was not necessarily expecting this. based on the count at least. But you know, there was clear long clearly getting wrecked and absorption visible, and it was a sweep of the low and showed getting aggressive here and the little consolidation. And I didn't know where this would take me, right? When I went long here, I didn't know if I was going to target the overall 24k or 24k, or if that was just going to be an ABC like this, for example, or even shorter. So I just look and I saw this acceleration. So I said, okay, that was a pretty good long, but I didn't know it was going to be so good when I went it here. I went it here just because I was looking at this 3-4. This doesn't look like a finish. You don't have this last SFP and the minutes that hint you that you have 5 waves finished. And even more here, you have your consolidation like look like a triangle. So good wave 4. And then last sweep, and you see long got wrecked here. People try to long back here, got stopped out, shorted here, and the early long got stopped out, and really good reaction. And on I think it was on the 1 minute here, you have a really nice candle here. You can see all this in red is sell trap at the low. You even have this spike of volume at very close to the low. You can see this short or open interest growing here with CVD going down. So building bullish CVD overall in this range, hitting you that there was selling getting absorbed. And then you get again a nice drop of open interest on this negative delta, and yet the candle managed to close back in green. So more sells than buys, and yet more market sells than market buy, and yet still a green close. So clear absorption here, really nice setup. The one from Monday, okay, come back for the one from Monday. Still live, the internet coming laggy. Okay, no. It's kind of the similarity. So really low time frame here, low time frame trigger Elliott Wave. So I'm reading the top here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Triangle consolidation. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to count from the end of the triangle here. You have an A, B, C, D, E. So I need to count my 5 from that last significant swing high on the minute count. And so I'm reading 1, 2. This is not a finish here. We need another SFP. So 4. But then, again, I can zoom in again. It's gonna work 1 minute so far. Yeah, it was really on a minute chart here. So then I know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So I need to finish now 5 from this. But here I have 1, 2, 3. That's not a 5 finish. There is something incorrect. At that point, it can be part of a flat, ABC for an A, B, C. So I will need to still count 5. Or it can be an expanding diagonal because this second move is bigger than this one. And so we can count 1, 2, 3. This correction go overlap wave 1. So it can be a standard, it cannot be a standard impulse where wave 4 cannot overlap wave 1, but it can be a diagonal. And here as wave 3 is bigger than the 1, it can be an expanding diagonal. At least as long as top of wave 2 is not taken. Wave 4 cannot go beyond the origin of wave 2, end of wave 2. And so I was looking for another fifth wave here, for an expanding formation with a minimum target is that wave 5 at that point, if wave 3 is bigger than 1, wave 5 need to be bigger than 3. So the minimum target was a 1-1 on linear, and this last wave needed to be bigger than this one, so here. Now you have this kind of expanding formation here. That's why I was expecting this third. I was not necessarily expecting before it happened, but when there was this correction here, see, something isn't finished here. This is not a finish here. Sometime it happened, you don't have a proper finish, but you know, at the same time, you also have your big spike of volume here. And usually you want a lesser big spike of volume for the finish. Just hitting you that after a strong reaction like this, you need to, not you need to, but you will have people FOMO back into the pump. And as you have quite about 1% of move up, you know there's liquidation of the 100x that go here. And stop loss and a lot of liquidity still, so you want to take that liquidity again. And based on this formation, I say, oh yeah, well, we can come back to take the liquidity one last time here. And it didn't miss, indeed. But an proper finish will probably have been the one from when you get FOMC volatility, or you know, some kind of news event like this. It can be not clean like this, but I didn't catch any leverage position on that. I had some limits planned in this zone overall for higher low, because I have a confidence that we have an impulse that we were going to make a higher low. I was just not able to enter any big size leverage here. I didn't have that finish, so sometimes you miss it. But at least here I have a better confidence in closest invalidation. Here we go, we're going to another temp here. You know, maybe now start to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe another one still, 50%. Yeah, auto penetrator starting to peel in, so I am absorbed. So you can feel how this has the potential to squeeze them at some point here. It's not always a success, because sometimes I win the game, but considering my structure here, I guess they're gonna get wrecked at some point. Might go a bit lower still. I don't know. Come on. So you can also watch for low time frame div. That might be the low, could go a bit lower here. Do we have a confluence with that? Here we go, nearly 1-1 extension. That might be enough already. Could see, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still. No, maybe consolidate a bit. But dig in, get in, made a smaller market structure change, and triggers a stop then. Knowing that a wide 5 can go a lot deeper, we can do something like 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do 5 like this, you know. I cannot predict that, because it depends on where the big guy is gonna. The bigger guy is gonna set the limit to absorb if such a thing happens. It's starting to look pretty good here, in my opinion. What is that level? Oh yeah, okay. This is not the right. CP right. Lifetime. Oh, okay, that's not gonna work. Should have the. Here you go, getting absorbed here, million. There is some limits here. On the 3 tick size, so. Going to go a bit lower still. Time you can even try it 1, 2, 3, 5 maybe. Here, starting to look good. We have a 0 at the end. There's no more. $3 million off market buy. Somebody will decide to go in. We have a wipe of open interest here, so it's possible that the guy that went short here, big guy that went short here, was pushing into liquidity, stopped out enough long, and the close is short here. It's not finished yet. Okay, you see here the kind of manipulation in between. Are we coming to the golden pocket already? Not yet. Maybe they are entering this. Search here. I would probably start to go in slowly. Wait for a bit more reaction, you know. Better low. And with the golden pocket just below, maybe just our limit, just below the current low here. I prefer when I have a better confidence, for example, a 1-1 extension that come right into the golden pocket, that would be even better. If we have a POC support, the POC is a bit more lower here at the 707. It seems a bit far. I'm on by bit, yes. But who knows? It's getting absorbed. The FOMO long getting absorbed here. They're stop getting absorbed. And the aggressive short that went here, pushing price down here. Open interest, you see it's mostly close. Backed at the level from here. So pretty much when the aggressive short at the top start to get in. So they find their liquidity here. Here we go, it's that's a good low now. Better low. We have liquidity just below, so we're gonna get this likely. Likely? Maybe not, I don't know. Otherwise, well, if we start to, the risk is that we don't have a proper pullback, but otherwise you have your markets to change. It can be a trigger. At least you have an invalidation below here at that point. At the same time, it's, you know, you could be entering here anyway, and if there is no reaction here, well, you exit, and if there is a reaction, well, you're good. That's starting to look good. Can go for another, you know, at 1 minute, you don't know for sure. You have to be a bit wide here. Starting like to look like a close finish, at least oversold. Come on, one last. A tick lower. And maybe not. Okay, I will probably be long here with more size just here. Just below current low. Just adding more if we get a bit more. And this, if this doesn't hold, well, might reassess then. Come on, I'm gonna get it. I can compound mine here. Yeah, I can do that. USDT for that one. Open, not close. There we go. I compound a bit. I compound my position from here that I've taken profit here and here. Well, now overall my stop loss is still here. Hard stop loss. If I see too much weakness, I would exit, but here. Compound. I would have a partial take profit. Where do I put this? I guess, yeah. I mean, let's say we go a bit below. I guess I would like to see this get taken. If I try see something like this and it's triggering, I might early take profit, you know, sometimes you have just to be attentive at what happened. But overall, my limit take profit by default would be here. And then a bit higher and a bit higher. That should be green because it's a buy. Is that the first time I do a live trading room? Thanks, Toms. So while this happen, I can maybe keep that on the side. No, I didn't mean to close it. Here it is. Let's keep that on the side, and I can talk about something else maybe. Quickly, what did I want to talk about? DXY likely printed 5 waves down here. That's what I'm reading from the top from September 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is starting to look like a really good low. We took liquidity below this. So I believe we might enter a corrective phase up here for a few months. Just based on the time it took to go down there. You know, at least until March, but potentially until June. Is this gonna be an inverse correlation with Bitcoin? So was taking a look at correlation. That's, you know, I say correlation comes and goes, and so I was taking a quick look here before the stream. That's really a fact. Now, when overall there is a major top or a major high, tend to have inverse correlation, but you can see here how DXY in green keep making higher highs here while Bitcoin was still uptrending. So you have correlation sometimes, you have inverse correlation other times, but overall it was starting to top out here when Bitcoin was starting to top down to bottom, and then it finished to bottom on DXY around the time Bitcoin topped out. But you see there is a few weeks of not the same correlation. Same time here, you have Bitcoin starting to go up. DXY didn't put a major top, but it made a major top just at the time Bitcoin made a major low here. Same here, it made a major low around the time Bitcoin made a major top, but it started to print a low like at 38K while we still almost double the price, you know. Now the same thing here. We printed a major top on DXY while we were there on Bitcoin. We didn't bottom yet, but if that's a new trend, that can be an hint that yes, Bitcoin might be starting its bull trend as well. Overall, if this could be a bottoming zone, if we take it wide in terms of all the half ends, or 6 months period where DXY topped out and this bottom, at least with the way it moved here, it feels a lot more impulsive down than anything else. But that also means that if it's going up, maybe it would be a bit of inverse correlation here at some point in time. Maybe Bitcoin is about to print its 5th wave and gonna go into a longer period of corrective move down, while DXY go into a longer period of corrective move up, for example. Not gonna cover everything, but you know, it's the same thing. I don't like to trade too much on correlation based on stock because I feel it's losing me. On the lower time frame, you can see there is sometimes not. It's true that overall it seems correlated, but there is time where it's just not, and not necessarily doing the same thing. Sometimes it's move along, it's move at the same time in the same direction, but not necessarily in the same spread and not printing the same market structure, you know. So it can be complicated. Let's say stocks are looking like they could be reversing here, even if I have a extremely bearish count on the S&P, suggesting that we finished 150 years of impulse move on S&P, suggesting tens of years of correction before we will see new all-time high. Could be extending for another move, we'll see. It's always possible. And yeah, and sometimes Bitcoin also move its correlation to gold. It have been correlated to gold or inversely correlated to gold, for example, during that period when people move from gold to Bitcoin, probably. Gold looked pretty bullish so far, but might have finished 5 waves and starting a correction that could last a few months and help Bitcoin go along as well. You should this way more often. See you reaching 10k subscribers. Thank you. Yeah, well, I'm doing it here because it's available, but yeah, surely I can try to do that more often. But at the same time, you know, I prefer to be peaceful, kind of alone on my screen when I'm trading and looking at things. You can see how I shift from 10 charts all the way, and I have like 3 or 4 screens depending on the day to look at everything. I'm a bit overloading my brain. Overloading. You know, it's not necessarily easy to trade and stream at the same time, but I can try to do it more. And yeah. Should I talk about on-chain data? I think the stream have been quite long enough, I think. But I'm not sure I have a confident opinion about it. And yeah, 10k subscriber, why not? I wouldn't mind. Of course, I'm doing all of this in the goal to increase subscriber, but most of all, it's, you know, also to be less alone in some way. Less alone, in the sense that it can be a pretty lonely job to do. And at least being in a community like this, you know, we're sharing, we're joking, we're sharing emotions sometimes as well, when market is getting into us. So yeah, I was looking at on-chain data because it's true that we have quite something that is not as bullish as it has been in the past. There is a guy I follow on Twitter, an Elliottian, a decent Elliottian, that seems to be a lot more bearish than me right now. And he's looking at this a lot based on, I think his bias is a lot made based on the on-chain data, suggesting that smaller order have been the one buying up since the top that we made, and that is not untrue. And at the same time, we can see here the 0 to 10 BTC wallets have been growing their holding all along, always. So it's not necessarily a bearish fact to me. And the intermediary one, or the big one, have been overall decreasing. This is in percent of supply. That changes if you take the absolute value, because the supply is still growing slightly. Overall, the big one have been unloading, and for me, it's not such a big deal, especially in the idea that we might be in a wave 4. So wave 4 is for me what is a profit-taking area. 12, that's going to be enough. So it's kind of fine for me to see this bigger order decreasing their holding overall. Surely we want them to start increasing at some point, because that's where, like here, the 100 to 1100 started to increase here. This is a March COVID low, and they started to increase slightly, as not necessarily as the low was in at the low, but after we started to reverse, and then they started to increase the holding, and that's what I believe for the trend as well, because it's normal that the big order, the big ones, are not necessarily increasing during the bear market, because the bear market is here because there is more supply. So if the big ones are selling, obviously price will go down. But if they start to change their mind and start buying, the price will start to go up as well. So they're not gonna necessarily be obviously buying the bottom. So still monitoring that, that's for sure. And that's for sure that especially since the top that we made at 69k, we can see that this is a small wallet that have been growing the most, taking the most share here, while the big one have slightly decreased. Intermediary 10 to 1000 are in between, because there's 100 1000 that have been slightly increasing at the top and decreasing during the bear. Yeah, we're balancing, but yeah, but yeah, we can see some slight warning signs, slightly. And there is a weird pattern here where in fact here the green and the blue are the same size. It's just that it is one in absolute, so a number of Bitcoin holding, and one in the percentage of total supply. And as the supply is growing, they are holding more, they are holding less of the supply, because there is more supply overall, less of the total supply. I think that's a minor capitulation that we are seeing with this, but there is a decorrelation. And if we take the big picture, yeah, we can see this trend going for the big one, 100 to 1100. That is starting to trend down a lot more than it used to. We would want to see them increase at some point, especially during the wave 2 or the beginning of the third. If we are actually doing wave 1 here, what we want to see is this big wallet starting to increase, either during this correction or at the beginning of the next trend here. At that moment, especially when we will make a higher high, if that happens. That's where we would want them to be increasing. Anyway, so going for the lows again. One last sweep. Come on. I'm gonna fail on me, right? Cannot dive more than 1 minute. Okay, that's gonna be where you need to hold, buddy. Sometimes you're here watching the stuff, waiting, you say, okay, we're getting close. I got to be there, I got to be reactive when it happened, and it takes 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Oh, I have an alarm. Yeah. Here we go. That's the kind of capitulation we want to see bought up. Come on. Come on. No, you can do better than this. Okay, here we're seeing the size. Ideally, we want this 5 minutes to close above the volume here. We have a weekly VWAP just below previous day low. It's another nice flush of volume here. You see how this push up here induce people to put stop just below the low, because there is a big flush on open interest. You want this to get a nice close on the 5 minute here. POC tagged is that's a bit weaker than what I wanted to see. I would have preferred that. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Good. Yeah, here on the invest pep, we can see more of the aggressive short coming here and the zero finished auction at the bottom. Encouraging. Minus 11 delta. That's 2 million. Starting to get, you know what, the crew? I'm gonna increase a bit more if we start to see that strength and put the stop below. Yeah. Okay. Give it a bit of room still. Wait for that. Ideally, that change of market structure before setting the stop below. But 1 minute, 5 minute change of market structure before moving the stop now. Was that 161.8? No, 161.8 kind of deep lower still. Sometimes things get a bit more aggressive and they push and push and they push and they push before everything. I think this is looking not bad. You get that divergence from oversold on RSI, MFI here between these two low, where you got your trapped stop loss because you've got a bit of reaction, people moving the stop loss. Flush, produce a 1 minute bull div, 3 minute bull div almost, oversold. Come on, now it's time. It's time to move. Rules. Get in, get in. I'm not financial advice, I'm saying to the market. Okay. That's okay. Come on, I want more. I want a bit more, but it's okay. It's looking okay. How is this looking, by the way? And you know, the market is pretty aggressive recently, so even 30 minutes may print us a nice one. Oh, it's just starting. Never mind. But at least you see how I do it. We'll see if that succeeds. There is never certainty. Now that would be pretty much something along this line, right? You can net certainty sometime if I really had sides, I manage differently, but I might have a really early take profit. Like at the POC here, it's mindful resistance. Previous support. Just to protect. But overall, you want to take the high. A bit more. Final target. I spread my TP a lot. on a scalp like this, I can move stop more or less at break even. I would just have liked if you could change that market structure. That's really when you want to see to be more confident about moving your stop below the low. And in fact, you know, like partial take profit here at limit, stop below the low now can go away. However, a free trade, right? There's nothing like a free trade, but that's how I do. Great. So I guess I'm gonna let you on that. I should probably just do that like this, make a pause. With just, you know, for cloud chasing, I can do a picture of my live stream and share it on Twitter. Often forget to do that. I need this to be center. Here's a piercing bit. You could watch me trading all day. Okay, well, thanks everybody for watching, at least. Yeah, that's gonna be all. If I get stopped, it's enough for me anyway. The ID remained valid, full invalidation, just to be clear. We never certainty. Full invalidation of this ID is only done here, right? Overall, full invalidation of this being an impulse. So right now, what I count here, I'm gonna keep my stop here. But some of the long I count earlier, I'm gonna keep my stop still below here for now. If we start to have a better move, I will gladly raise it here. But yeah, that's also why it's useful to have sub accounts and be able to have different positions. Cheers everybody, have a good evening, good weekend. Don't forget to take a break as well if you can. If the market allows us to have a break, I would need a nice calm weekend. And I see you all soon. Cheers.